Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, new Rockstars finally put up their Easter egg breakdown for the new Captain America Brave New World teaser trailer. I told you guys when I was on stream today, when I reacted to the trailer, that I would come back here and do a video of me reacting to their detail breakdown of the Captain America trailer. So we're going to be here. We're going to be reacting to what new Rockstar says about the trailer. When I was even doing my trailer reaction, we kind of went back at the beginning of the trailer, and we were kind of breaking down the trailer ourselves. So I'm actually really curious to know what I got and maybe what I missed. Some things I did miss that I did see on Twitter, and I went back through and I was like, oh my god, I do see that. But some things I did see on my own, and I was kind of able to pinpoint when probably parts of the film take place. I really like doing that live with you guys. I think going forward, when we know Marvel trailers are going to be dropping, I think I'm going to do live reactions so we can kind of break it down and kind of talk about really like our theories for the movie and kind of like when things take place or when do we think things will take place. But like I said, we're going to get into this reaction of their trailer breakdown, and we're going to get into it in 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it right about now.
Mackie as Sam Wilson and Harrison Ford as Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the trailer for Captain America Brave New World, the fourth Captain America film starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson and Harrison Ford as President Ross, coming February 2025. Let's go through this trailer shot by shot to break down all the big details you missed. Here we go! The trailer opens with Sam Wilson meeting President Thaddeus Ross.
Wilson, thanks for coming in. Well, thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look. They said lose the mustache or lose the election.
Harrison Ford now plays Thaddeus Ross.
Yes.
The character was previously played by William Hurt from 2008's
R.I.P.
Incredible Hulk to 2016's Captain America Civil War, and in smaller appearances in Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Widow. William Hurt passed away in 2022. Yep. Harrison Ford has long been a figure suited to this genre, though. In the 1990s, he shifted from
Harrison
Indiana
Ford
Jones films to playing Jack Ryan in Tom Clancy's movies like Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. And while this never happened in any of Harrison Ford's Clancy movies, Jack Ryan does become the U.S. president at some point in the books. It gets crazy. But, of course, Harrison Ford then, in 1997, appeared as the president in Air Force One. And that's the kind of like president equals action star nostalgia that I think Marvel is aiming for by putting Harrison Ford as president in this movie.
Get off my plane.
Thaddeus Ross was originally a general eager to bring back the super soldier program that created Captain America as he sought to contain the Hulk in the 2008 film, and he ended up unleashing Emil Blonsky as a juiced up super soldier who ended up taking an additional serum with Bruce Banner's blood that turned him into Abomination, and Abomination came back in She-Hulk. But the scientist who aided in that process was Samuel Stearns, aka Mr. Blue, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who returns in this movie as the green-skinned, hopefully large-headed The Leader.
Yeah, I think you can see in the trailer his head's a little bit bigger.
Absolutely nuts to me. Now, in Captain America Civil War, Thaddeus Ross was the Secretary of State, and he was trying to rein in the Avengers after the Battle of Sokovia in Avengers Age of Ultron, and what was then the latest conflict in Lagos that opened Civil War. So when he says that we've had differences in the past, that's what he's referring to. At some point, Sam joined Natasha and Steve while they were basically government fugitives, and when Ross brings it up now, I love how Anthony Mackie just like lets his face drop. Like, yeah, I haven't forgotten. Now, last year in Secret Invasion, the US president was established as President Ritson, played by Dermot Mulroney, but it seems like Thaddeus Ross has now beaten Ritson in the most recent presidential election. We last saw Sam Wilson in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in April 2021 when he was dealing with the weight of Steve Rogers giving him the shield at the end of Endgame, and he's
so glad I got the shield. I love that
Super Soldier Serum empowered Flag Smashers, as well as US agent John Walker. That series ended with Sam embracing the title of Captain America with a new suit built for him by the Wakandans, but this movie's going to put him in an even newer, bluer suit. Yet we will see some early mission that will show him in a version of the white suit from the Wakandans. The whole idea of vibranium versus a more powerful metal is going to be an important issue in this movie. As Sam enters the White House, President Ross stands between portraits of James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. On the far left is a portrait of Dolly Madison, who saved some important founding documents when the British burned the White House in the War of 1812. And on the far right, John Tyler, who took over the presidency after William Henry Harrison died after just a few months in office. And I kind of feel like these two on the the far left and right might tell us something about this movie, like a White House being destroyed and a very, very short-term U.S. president.
That's
Sam
an
and Ross joking about
incredible
his
shot
changed
with the
appearance
White House
reminds us
being
of the moment in
destroyed.
Iron
That's
Man
like
2 when Tony Stark
insane.
and James Rhodes had that line.
Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on.
Making a reference to the recasting
Yep.
in that Senate hearing. Thaddeus Ross then gives a speech to supporters behind bulletproof glass panels. And while modern presidents often do this for big outdoor settings as Secret Service protocol, the fact that these panels are so close and the camera focuses on them so clearly just tells us how unstable
So
things
cool,
are
the
in
reflection.
America in the MCU right now. All the campaign signs read, "Ready, Ross!" The others show his photo rendered in an artsy way, kind of like a monochromatic version of the Obama 2008 Hope
Yeah.
poster. But we don't see any vice president listed on any of the signs. I assume this would be like Ross's victory speech. Now Ross continues.
You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation,
Work with me, Sam.
Now, some inserts here hint at some military action. Let's break it down. We see some Japanese F-35s, and on the radar screen, we see what looks like Japanese fighter jets heading toward the Fifth Fleet in what looks like a hostile action. Yes, they might be on a mission
Yeah, I
together,
feel like
but
this
why would they be
sequence is
flying
at the end of the
toward
film.
a U.S. aircraft carrier? The Japanese and the U.S. are allies, both in the real world and what seems like at the beginning of this movie. So what's going on here? Well, I'll tell you what they're fighting over.
Tiamat statue.
Yes, they are here in the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
That is the corpse of
Is
the
it like
dead
in between
celestial Tiamat
borders?
from the Eternals film back in 2021.
And they're
This
fighting
guy's
probably for
technically
the
just
medal.
been sitting here dormant in the Indian Ocean ever since and rarely ever addressed in the MCU. But the rumors are true. We will be returning to Tiamat
Yep.
in this movie. The fact that it's Japan, though, is noteworthy because in the CinemaCon footage that we saw earlier this year, there was a line from Thaddeus Ross where he credits Sam and Joaquin Torres for recovering the discovery of the Millennium stolen from a Japanese mining site. I speculated that metal could be adamantium,
Adamantium.
and they will be recovering its raw form from this giant corpse. Maybe after the Japanese refined it, Giancarlo Esposito's character stole it, and it was recovered for the
Sick.
Japanese and the Americans by Sam and Joaquin.
And that's gonna be at
that
the
could
beginning
why
of the
we
film.
see Sam with Ross and that Japanese leader later. Geopolitics are going to be realigned by the discovery of adamantium, as all these countries are scrambling to get their hands on a valuable, weaponizable metal that would be stronger than Wakandan vibranium. That's why we saw the scenes with Val and Toby Ziegler and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Later shots show Sam and Joaquin both on this mission, and I think that might even be Sam crashing through maybe an American F-22. July is for nerds.
It's crazy
There's
that
so
they-
much good nerd stuff going on right
It was crazy that Sam was flying through jets. Just think about that for a minute. And I feel like that explains why he has the kind of Air Force fighter pilot like helmet on. Probably nanotech, but it's really, really cool. I love it. It's very like Endgame, like quantum suits. It looks like a quantum suit like helmet, and I wouldn't be surprised, and because we all know the quantum suits were nanotech, so that would be really cool if it's like a nanotech helmet for like Sam to use. I think that'd be dope. Who knows if that's actually going to be the case. I am really excited though. Like the action looks top notch, and we know that we're getting adamantium either in this film going into Thunderbolts, or if it's not here, it's going to be in Thunderbolts. But regardless, like I'm really, really excited for this film. It looks incredible. But we're going to skip the kind of the advertisement or kind of they got going on right here. Okay, we're good. It's for their Nerd Riot shop, which go get their merch. They got
Choose
some
Your
great
Fighter
merch.
T-shirt has you covered. Gear up for nerd season at nerdriot.shop. It's the best way to support our channel. Now here is a shot of Shira Haas as Ruth Bat Saraf, who this movie is described as a former Black Widow spy and now a high-ranking
Okay.
government official. In the comics, she's an Israeli superheroine named Sabra. I don't know how much they're gonna go into that in this movie. I think they've kind of revised her origin story to be one of those Black Widow agents that was part of the network that we saw at the end
Of
of the
the Red Room,
2016
yeah.
Black Widow film. In this shot, she's sitting across from someone with a big old trembling arm. I think this might be our first shot of Thaddeus Ross as Red Hulk. She is staring him
Oh.
down, unafraid. Maybe she is the official who gives Ross the serum. So yeah, let's talk about it here. This trailer ends with the money shot of Red
So cool.
Hulk facing down Sam Wilson in Washington, D.C., catching and throwing down his vibranium shield. I love that the trailer just goes ahead to reveal this
Focuses
because
on
it
it,
leads
yeah.
to like McDonald's Happy Meal toys. So we've all basically known that it's gonna happen in this movie. Now it's peak cherry blossom season here, and it's just stunning. And this movie's gonna release on Valentine's Day. those will be starting to be in bloom in the DC area. Also,
Oh,
I
so
think that
it's-
might be
okay.
a cherry blossom branch in the pot on the table in the
So that explains it. A lot of people thought that the cherry blossoms represented like Japan, but like they clearly show that like they bloom in DC. So it all takes place in DC. I don't think any of these sequences actually take place in Japan. Okay, so the new Rockstars just answered that. A lot of other people that mentioned it in my live stream said that cherry blossoms usually represent like what like the flowers in Japan. Does that mean that they're going to be in Japan in parts of the movie? I don't think that they will. So that kind of just answers the question right there. That's pretty
Blue
cool.
Room when the president
New
meets Sam at the
Rockstars.
beginning of the
Yeah,
trailer.
it's
So I
pretty
think
cool.
earlier scenes this way will establish this final showdown.
I'm so excited,
Thaddeus
bro.
Ross becomes Red Hulk in the World War Hulk storyline.
Yes.
Some Marvel fans have really been expecting Ross to take this step eventually, ever since 2008. But why will he become Red Hulk in this movie? Who knows? It could be a move of desperation from a former soldier who wants to handle things himself. Maybe there will be a health issue that Ross was hiding and he takes experimental treatments for. Because in that 2016 Civil War movie, he did hint that he had like a heart stent removed.
Yeah.
Later trailer shots show Ross speaking in the garden outside the White House, followed by soldiers firing upwards at something. And then here, a huge part of the White House implodes. Now, the official poster art shows a giant red Hulk
See how
hand
it's like, I
clutching
didn't
a
notice
Captain
it,
America
but
shield,
it's
and his fingers
crunching.
are starting to bend the vibranium.
Yeah.
So we see the importance of needing a sturdier, stronger metal than vibranium, and that's why adamantium is going to be so important. And speaking of two video game characters just facing down in a cool
So
looking
cool.
setting, we have this awesome new Choose Your Fighter shirt design that you can get at nerdriot.shop.
Another
It's exclusive to New Rockstars. and
merch
it's really the best
shout
way
out.
to
That's
support what
crazy.
we're doing here. Now, really, this trailer is a mix of
They got good
CinemaCon
merch.
footage and new footage shot in recent months in the reshoot. So we also now see Giancarlo Esposito's character. Esposito has hinted that his character will be someone who returns in the Marvel series after this. And Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, claimed that he is playing GW Bridge, or George Washington Bridge, who's a mercenary who does S.H.I.E.L.D. Black Ops missions, but also joins Cable and the group Six Pack. He was originally one of these early 90s figures introduced by Rob Liefeld and Fabiana Cheza in the lineup of Deadpool, Cable, X-Force comics. You know, he's just someone who always got like a lot of
I'll have
straps
to
and
remember that
bandoliers and big
GW
old
Bridge.
guns. So when Giancarlo says he's going to show up in a show after this, it could be someone connected to the world of the X-Men or just any kind of show where there's arms dealings and specifically adamantium.
I thought he
so
would
then the
play
shot
a good,
of Thaddeus Ross presenting in a White House ballroom with
Sinister.
screens around him
I think he'd
depicting
play a
a
good
world
Sinister.
map with sites highlighted. There's the US, France, and India with larger blips in them, but then stronger pings that might just be bases or world capitals of allies in this joint mission to recover adamantium and control its use. So we see a little dot on Iceland, on Portugal, and then either the Canary Islands or Madeira.
How is he
off
able
the
to
coast of
tell
Morocco
where
then Tunisia,
these
and Northern
places
Africa,
are on the
Austria,
map?
and then up to Sweden, and then Ukraine,
There's, like,
Mention the war.
Afghanistan,
Don't mention the war.
Vietnam,
I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Mongolia and Somalia, and then in a later shot, that's definitely Australia and New Zealand. Now we see cameras, so I assume this is being televised, but I wonder if the bigger sites, like the orange rings, might be the sites where adamantium deposits were found, because Tiamat has been with Earth since as long as humans have been around. So it may
Yeah.
just be that Tiamat's emergence is what caused us to discover this metal that's been under our feet all this time. And I've said in a lot of videos before, it is just interesting that Wakandan vibranium came from a meteorite, and that this substance would have come from something from the cosmos. That maybe
Yeah.
both vibranium and adamantium were gifts from Marvel's gods of the Celestials to like empower and select Earth to be more
I'm
fit
so
to survive
excited
than
to
other
see
planets would be
Galactus,
in the
too, 'cause
cosmos. Now when it comes to this
us seeing the
presentation, we later
Celestials
see
was
Sam,
just
Isaiah, and Joaquin at a
the
global Unity
opening
summit
of
at the White House.
Galactus,
And
you know
the
what I mean?
photographer in the foreground has a green hand. So this must be Samuel Stearns, the leader, and he's
Wow.
posing as immediate personnel to trigger what happens next here. We see Sam sitting with Joaquin. And by the way, Joaquin's played by Danny Ramirez from Top Gun
Yep.
Maverick. He was Sam's US Air Force pilot buddy who becomes Falcon in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And they're sitting next to Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly, who we also met in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was a former government super soldier, aka the Black Captain America, who was cruelly tortured and imprisoned and covered up by the US government until a nurse took pity on him and helped him break out. At the end of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, he seemed to be in a better place. He's taken his grandson Elijah to visit the Captain America exhibit at the Smithsonian, but now in this movie, something happens here to trigger him into a kind of brainwash, taking a Secret Service agent's gun and firing at the president. And we see how Isaiah still has his enhanced strength. He throws this guy across the room. Now the CinemaCon footage indicated that this was an audio frequency that plays throughout the room, and it brainwashes him, and that Isaiah won't
And
be the only person
multiple other
affected.
people,
Other
yeah.
Secret Service agents will as well, and we see Sam fighting with one of those guys. So it's gonna be a big mess, and we're gonna follow Isaiah through the White House. He leaps through the window of the same room that we saw earlier. So Sam tells Ross in the Situation Room that his inner circle has been compromised, and then we see Sam and Joaquin in a different scene finding a grimy lab with medical equipment, a chair with straps, a
We
gurney
all
with straps,
know that
and
this
a
is
red
the
light over it
leader's,
all. So likely this is
hideout.
where they turned Ross into Red Hulk. Now here, this is a part of the reshoot footage where Sam jumps and kicks two guys and rolls to stick the
Yeah,
superhero
this is
landing.
earlier
We
in
saw
the
him do
movie.
this same move in the opening Lagos mission in Captain
Yep.
America Civil War, but there he used his wings to do it.
So
now he
cool.
doesn't need his wings. In the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sam did not inject the super soldier serum, but
Ooh.
maybe he will inject a version of it in this movie. I mean, he is
I
going
don't
up against the
think
Hulk.
so.
I feel like he needs it. Then another shot of Samuel Stearns, Tim Blake Nelson, with a bit of
He
green
looks
on the back of his
good.
head,
Just
as he says,
you,
"Global
the
powers are shifting."
prosthetics.
He
I'm
went
so
by Mr.
excited.
Blue when he was corresponding with Bruce Banner in the 2008 Hulk film, and he's wearing a hat here. I just hope we give him a slightly enlarged head.
Oh,
Please,
he's
please,
gonna
please.
have an
Now, often
enlarged
paired
head.
with
Trust.
Bruce is actress Hossa Roquemore, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that correctly because she's named after the Hossa people of South Africa, and they have a specific consonant sound. Her character is not named yet, but I wonder if she could be a Dora Milaje embedded with the U.S. government and reporting to the
Cool,
Wakandan
that would
government
be
the U.S.
cool.
attempts to develop adamantium weaponry that they're trying to use to overpower Wakandan vibranium. We do not see Liv Tyler as Betty Ross in this film, but she is confirmed to
Yeah,
return.
you
And set
set
photos shows her
photos,
at a
yeah.
funeral, and we see that funeral in this trailer. And I'm wondering if this is Steve Rogers' funeral, or maybe a ceremonial funeral because they still can't find him, and maybe they're just assuming he's dead. I'm loving all the shots of Sam's new blue suit in this trailer because they're keeping the wings now, and actually they make the wings bigger and like more feathery shaped. Like they really do look like the wings of an eagle. And it's just
Which is
so cool
so
that Sam
cool.
can always find his own way to express his patriotism. As he faces Red Hulk in the DC Cherry Blossoms, we see that he has a new version of the drone Red Wing as
Yep.
well to go with his new suit. And the fact that they're using more avian imagery to design his suit almost makes it forgivable that they turned Red Wing into a robot drone. I want Red Wing to be an actual bird like he is in the comics, but it is very cool here to see him breaking the sound barrier.
Red Wing's
in that
always
Tiamat
been a
fight over
drone
the Indian Ocean
in the
because
MCU,
like what we
so-
saw in the early flights of Iron Man's suit in the first film. This movie is going to rock. Look, I know February 2025 could be a very difficult time for our country, and seeing a drama with a crazy president turning into a Red Hulk, smashing through the White House, might just hit differently at that point. Or
Yeah.
this movie could be what like fixes America. It could be the escapism we all need. But announcement, tomorrow we are going to have a very special video on the channel. Many of you have been asking, hey Eric, what X-Men movies do I really need to rewatch
Okay.
before Deadpool and Wolverine? And since that movie might be bringing in characters from Daredevil and Blade,
It's really funny that he's mentioning, like, people have asked, like, hey, Eric, like, what X-Men movie should I watch? My bro Troy just asked me that. Like, oh, I'm thinking about watching the X-Men movies. Which one should I watch? I said, of course, the first three, because those are going to be the most important and integral to the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I think they'll hint on elements from Logan, but not too much. Of course, I think it's mainly the original three, and also like the Ben Affleck Daredevil, especially if Jennifer Gardner is going to make an appearance and stuff like that. So yeah, which we all know she is, and my bro's already seen that, but he is watching, I think, the first two X-Men today, or maybe he's even trying to watch the first three. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him yet on how he liked the first movie. I don't know if he went on to the second one, but we all know the second one is the best. X2, it's the best. But yeah, what a great video by Eric Voss, and of course the people over at New Rockstars. Like I said, I've gotten merch from them. I have a Kang hoodie I got from them from Quantum Mania. I got a Deadpool and Wolverine shirt. I got a Deadpool and Wolverine hoodie. Guys, definitely go check out their merch site at Nerd Riot. Go check them out. Like I said, this isn't any like I'm partnered with them. I wish. Hopefully, I'll be big enough, and you know what I mean, to the point where I could do some work with them in the future. I think that'd be amazing. I would be totally up for it. But yeah, like, cause I love what they do over there. I love their merch over there. I've actually like repped some of their merch and did like photo shoots. You know what I mean? And kind of like added them over on my Instagram because I've just loved their stuff so much. You guys have probably seen it over on my Instagram if you guys follow me on my Instagram. But yeah, like I said, great video. A couple of things I didn't recognize was definitely if that is the leader taking photos before everything goes down with with Isaiah, like at that, like in the White House. That was cool. I did not notice that. The other thing I didn't notice was the cherry blossoms. I guess that isn't just a thing that it doesn't take place actually in Japan. Like I said, a lot of people said that the cherry blossom tree usually, is in Japan, and it's that's what they're really kind of known for with their flowers. Turns out it's actually something that happens in DC. Did not know that. I've never been to Washington DC, so I wouldn't know, but that's really, really cool. And yeah, like I'm really excited for this movie. I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm really glad that, they're going more into, explaining about Tiamat. It makes me very, very happy. I know they've mentioned it before. I hate when people say that they haven't mentioned it at all. I'm like, they've mentioned it. But in She-Hulk, but they're really going to address it, and they're really going to show us, hopefully, and adamantium, and we're gonna get introduced to adamantium. And I think things will kind of tie up with Wakanda Forever and how we left it, where the government kind of tried to get vibranium without Wakanda's consent. So I'm really excited. I think there's going to be a metal war happening. Now that they found something stronger than vibranium, which we can clearly see if Red Hulk is able to squeeze the Cap shield, which I know this after the fact, after I reacted to the poster, after I was done reacting to the trailer, when I saw the kind of corners crunch of the shield, I was like, oh shit, I think, someone said it in the chat of my live reaction, saying that I think Sam is going to get an adamantium shield by the end of this film. I'm going to agree. I think the shield might get destroyed again, even though it kind of sucks because the shield just got repaired at the end of Endgame, so Steve could give it to Sam. But I really do think that this, what an introduction to adamantium, with Sam's new shield being adamantium, being the strongest metal on Earth besides vibranium. Guys, we aren't ready. Like, MCU's cooking. I always tell you guys, trust in the man Feige. He really never lets us down. He's a fan himself. But yeah, we'll finish this kind of end part of it, and then I'll do my outro, but we'll finish this real quick.
That movie might be bringing in characters from Daredevil and Blade and Fantastic Four. Do I really need to watch all of those as well? Well, tomorrow's video will be the perfect answer to that question. It's a complete history of all 80 Marvel titles ever since 1998, and what you need to know about them before walking into Deadpool and Wolverine.
Jeez.
We worked really hard on this video, and I think you're really, really gonna love this historical timeline explanation. Comment down below with your favorite part of this trailer. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Sick. Great video, like I said, by New Rockstars. Guys, go follow Eric Voss on on the socials. His socials were back there. Go follow him. Definitely, you guys subscribe to New Rockstars. This is a definite like for this video. Like it. And yeah, like I said, share this with them, guys. I'm gonna at them, of course, in my comment section. I'll probably at them, and I'll probably add them in the description. But yeah, I love what New Rockstars. If you guys see this, I love what you guys do over there. I always watch your breakdowns, whether it be for Marvel, whether it be for The Boys, whether it be for really anything. And I got you. I always get your guys' merch. You guys probably might have the hottest merch on YouTube, and the hottest merch in terms of kind of promoting movies and TV shows, whether it be like Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, whatever. Your merch is great. Like, I sometimes if I find no merch, I go to them, because they always have merch for all these movies and shows. I always kind of go to them if Hot Topic don't have anything, which rarely, I feel like Hot Topic rarely has anything. But when they do, they come in clutch. But I can always depend on New Rockstars. But guys, like I said, that was the video of me reacting to the Brave New World teaser trailer Easter egg breakdown by New Rockstars. As always, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, put notifications, and like this video. I would love to have you guys here, part of the fam, part of the channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, yet again, we are almost to 900 subs, so please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps you get to my goal of hitting 900. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers, which is my end goal for the year, is to hit that before the end of the year is up. But as always, guys, that was the video. Hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.